Hi everyone, karibuni. How are you? How's everything, especially in this corona times? It's been a while, I know. And the reason why I'm here today is because I recently did an IGTV discussing my career as a software engineer. And a few questions popped up and I thought, why not address them in smaller chunks on my YouTube channel? So let's start. The topic for today is learning how to code, the 10 things that you should do. Of course, there are more, but these are my, 2 cents when it comes to it. All right. First things first, coding. Can everyone code? Yes, they can. However, the difference between learning how to code and wanting how to code is just enjoyment. That's all. If you enjoy what you're gonna do, it's gonna be fun. Same thing with baking, same thing with driving a car and everything like that. So most people usually ask, it's a very daunting thing, it's a very hard thing, intimidating to be specific, to learn and to take the first step on how to code. And this is me trying to demystify that and explain a few small steps that can help you to basically, take your first step in learning how to code. Point number 1, why? Why do you want to learn how to code? What is your main goal for that, A lot of people are interested in coding because of seeing that it's a very lucrative career, becoming a software developer or software engineer. Some people have realized that the world is taking a technological shift and that they need to get with the times. Other people are like, they just want to, learn how to do things, why is the software working like that? Can I learn how to do it? So the minute you identify your reason, it's going to be so much easier to be able to now figure out your next step, okay? Which comes to my second point, finding the language that you want to learn how to code, okay? Programming languages. There's so many different programming languages, from Python to C# to C programming to Java. And a lot of people are very confused because there's so much to learn and there's so much to do. What should I start with? Now, that is tied to my first point. Why do you want to learn how to code? Okay, so if you want to learn how to do something very easy, like, Photoshop, make the next big thing like that, that's fine. There's specific language programs for that, okay? There's some that are very easy. For example, Python, it's one of my favorite languages. It's very simple. It's very user-friendly, basically. And then we have Android-related programming languages like Java and the rest. So that is the main thing that you should be able to do. After you do that, after you've done the first part, which basically is understanding why, number 2, figuring out the programming language. Next, what do? Number 3, it's basically now trying to find online courses. The best part about the internet nowadays is we can find all types of information anywhere. There's so many online tutorials, there's so many online courses that we can be able to identify. The trick is now to be specific. So let's say you've identified you want to learn how to code in Python, right? What do? You start searching Python for beginners on your Google. That's all. They'll send you so many links, so many articles, so many things you can be able to look at, and you'll slowly create some sort of plan, which is my next step. Basically, setting up a plan and identifying what you need to study, a course basically, a course outline. It's like how you do it in school basically, And once you do that, you're able to identify how much do I need to learn, and then can I start kidogo. Kidogo means small steps. All right, and after you do that, after now you've created a course outline, you now make sure you adhere to it. Anyone who is a programmer, anyone who's a software engineer will tell you that they did not learn what they know overnight. It took them a while to be able to get there, and I cannot stress that enough. You need to make sure you are motivated and then you're disciplined to learn how to code. You do it regularly. If you want to do it, let's say 1 hour each day, in the mornings, in the evenings, whichever you want to do, that's fine. Just make sure you just understand, research, learn a bit, and then after you do that, go back to my next step, which is now practicing what you've learned. Okay? You've looked at the internet, you've studied a few things about programming, and you're like, okay, maybe I can try this. Next thing that you have to do is now implement said practices. You download the necessary tools, you start, practicing what you learned, and then after that, you'll definitely come up with errors, okay? You'll That's actually true. You have a lot of errors, and that's fine. You're allowed to have errors. We all do. We're all learning. And my favorite point, which I cannot stress enough, is Googling your errors. Okay? You're stuck somewhere after you've practiced. What do you do now? Copy that error. Try and, search it on the internet. Go to Google, go to Stack Overflow. What do I do when I'm faced with this kind of error? You'll find there's so many people online who've been able to have similar problems, and they were able to figure it out before you, okay? And that'll help you identify what needs to work, what doesn't need to work, maybe what you did wrong, what you didn't do wrong. And then you keep on trying, keep on changing, keep on editing, and with time, you'll be able to successfully run your first code. And that's the best part. That's the next step that I actually want to highlight. Celebrating your small achievements, okay? You might have written two lines of code, and then you realize it's running and it's running successfully with no errors. Give yourself a pat on the back, because you've done that. You've done your first step, and that's really impressive. Yay! Good for you. Okay? So now you've done, let's say, 1 week of programming, 1 week of coding, and you're like, okay, this doesn't seem so bad. What is the next step that you should do? Find a mentor. When you find a mentor, it's so much easier to be able to course through all those many issues, and it's also faster. It's way faster. This is because a mentor has already gone through what you are currently going through, and they know what practices you should avoid, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and they'll also kind of advise you in general, and then also keep track. You'll have an accountability partner basically, and I think that's really good. The trick is, if you have a mentor around you, if you have someone who's a software engineer, who's a software developer, slowly nudge them like, hey, I would like you to be my partner. I'd like you to be my mentor. What do you think I should do? If there's no one around you, the best part about the internet is there's so many people on GitHub. There's so many people on Stack Overflow, people you can reach out to, ask if they can mentor you. You don't have to necessarily be stuck simply because there's no one around you who's not a software engineer, and that's fine. The next step, after you've already had a mentor, what you need to do is now regularly go through your goals. You've done this course outline, you've done this, you've practiced that. Can you be able to now actually implement it in your own personal projects? Once you're able to do that, within 4 months, you will have progressed so far compared to how you were before, and it'll help you identify that, okay, this doesn't seem so bad, it's actually pretty easy. And I'm hoping you can be able to do that after this especially. All right, my next point. This one is not really necessary. However, I usually strongly advise, get a book. Literally, buy a book if you can. It's so much easier to be able to read something compared to looking at it. Although some people are visual, some people are not. But it would be advisable if you want to get into the depths of a programming language, try and find it online. If you can work with the PDF version, that's perfect. If you cannot, try and buy it or ask someone who has that book. It'll help you understand some deeper concepts. It's basically, instead of going through the 4 years of school, you can be able to just read the book and sort of implement some certain things. But this goes hand in hand with your videos, because online tutorials can be able to sort of problem solve your questions compared to now doing the opposite, which is now analytically solving them. And that's fine. People are different, try and figure out which one works for you, and hopefully you'll be able to create some sort of rhythm and routine. All right. The final step that I have is, if you're truly interested in learning how to program and learning how to code, and you feel like you can't do it on your own, the best part is nowadays we have so many online or real life boot camps, especially here in Kenya, especially here in Nairobi. Just search. One of my favorite ones, as I've mentioned again, it's called Moringa School. It's one of the, by far the best that I think I know of. And they'll be able to teach you what people studied in 4 years in 6 months, 20 weeks. If that is not impressive, I don't know what is, because they're able to sort of help you go through what you want to achieve after this course and then focus on those certain things. And I think that's amazing. Now that we're in the technological shift of the world, we need to now focus on some better ideas. We need to focus on the market niche. What can we do? What can we integrate? What can we incorporate? The best thing about learning how to code is, once you've identified your reasons and once you're able to figure out what works for you, you can be able to pick up what interests you at the same time, use it in the technological side of it, and that's really, really amazing. The last thing that I would tell you is you need to constantly push yourself. You're stuck somewhere, that's fine. Try and figure out answers. You're a bit lazy, you're demotivated, you need to be disciplined. You need to constantly be able to say, okay, I need to learn how to do this, I need to learn how to do this, I should push myself. And that's the very small difference that makes people who are elite. That's a difference, you know. And obviously all these are pieces of advice. At the end of the day, you need to try it out yourself, figure it out. If you're able to do that, that would be perfect. If you're not, that's also fine. Hopefully I've sort of given you some bit of insight in this. Please make sure you comment, like, and you know, ask me if you have any questions. If you need me to clarify certain things, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this. I truly, truly hope that I've been able to inspire you, if not challenge you to try something. Good luck, and I wish you all the best.